the God Awful Gospel Hour. Doing a midday recording today.
Yeah, we just had a men's prayer breakfast with Eric Knowles.
Yeah, who is with us here.
He's joining us for the Gospel Hour.
Yeah.
Eric, you're a veteran. You're on vet.tv.
Yep, Vet
It's your
TV.
new special.
Yep.
We're going to keep banging on that all day here.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Have you ever gotten laid from being a military?
From being in the military?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever tell the girl, thank you for your cervix?
A couple of times.
Nice.
Yeah.
Outside of that,
I've gotten laid for being in the military, but never for being a veteran.
Okay.
So, yeah, it only works while you're wearing the uniform.
Well, you're still married now. You could say every time you get laid at home, it's because of that. You're still milking
like
it.
that.
You can keep on milking it.
That's true.
It's all in the way you think about
That's
it.
true.
Outside of the military, what's the most dangerous job you've ever had?
Outside of the military.
OSHA violations, etc.
Yeah, well, I worked in the oil field
Oh, shit.
for a while. I've done that. That would probably be it. I worked in a chemical plant.
Did you wrap that chain around the thing to make it go in the rig?
Yeah. Yeah, I was
that's
out
my
there doing all that.
favorite thing to show housewives that say they have the hardest job in the world.
Exactly.
Go
Yeah.
out here and throw this chain around this
Yeah.
thing. And
I
see
say
if-
that to like feminists too. I'm like, well, the oil field's hiring. You
Yeah.
know, you want to be equal.
Yeah,
That's
invent something.
equal pay right there.
Yeah, they'll pay
that'll
you the
bump
same.
your average way up.
Yeah, you get hazard pay and everything.
Yeah. Did you ever have anybody from the government say, there's a meteor heading towards Earth and we need some drillers?
No, no.
Oh, yeah, what's the
So
most,
Armageddon was not a documentary. Okay.
what would you say is the most realistic depiction of the military in the movies?
Probably the movie Jarhead.
That's what. Yeah, I hear that a lot.
They're yelling at you to hydrate the whole time?
Yeah, I mean some of it, most of it, like the boot camp stuff and just the way that everybody's irreverent and the way that the Marines are very homoerotic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we humped each other a lot.
I mean, you have the
Dry
bit
hump. I mean, come on, it's not the Navy.
You have the bit about getting a boner during boot camp.
Yeah.
Is that some fetish you like getting yelled at? What's going on? I mean, I'm into that kind of stuff too. But I would, if I was getting yelled at boot camp and getting ready for a life of servitude, looking forward, my dick would go. I'd get free trans surgery.
Yeah.
You know, it'd go completely.
I've
inside
just
out.
always had a very easy boner.
Yeah.
You know.
So with morning wood, I'm sure they yell at you
Oh,
first
morning
thing in the
would.
morning.
Yeah, morning is just that's every day. I'm
Yeah.
45. It's still every day.
Hell yeah,
Pole
brother.
vault out of bed every
Support
day.
the troops.
Yeah,
That's good.
I remember on the school bus, like just the bouncing on the school bus would do it. I'd have to cover it with my trapper keeper when I get off.
You get a slight vibration. Boom. Yeah.
Anything, yeah.
I had a girlfriend that I rode the bus with, and I let her have all my old skate T-shirts. They're very thin, and she didn't wear a bra, so the
Oh.
bouncing would make her boobs jump up and down.
You dirty little rascal.
I get a boner in the bus. We used to get. I've told this story before, but I had a girlfriend in church, and we would hold hands like this in secret,
Ah, nice.
and then I would get a boner.
He's doing the.
Yeah. And then they go, everybody stand for the hymn, for the singing. I'm like, I didn't know. I thought we're done singing.
Dude, last Sunday in church, I did that, and
Yeah.
but I touched my wife's boob.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
get some.
She loved it.
Yeah, and then you have a free pedestal for the hymnal.
Ah,
Yeah.
You also had mentioned that you listened to Cypress Hill growing up. So did I.
yeah.
I got paid to draw Cypress Hill graffiti logos on
Oh,
my
really?
friends' books. We had the book cover,
Yeah.
and you can turn it inside out. It's blank.
Yep.
But I get paid. I mean, I got paid by not getting beat up.
Oh, that's
by
good.
the older
That's
kids.
good pay.
Yeah.
It's good work if you can find it.
There's the older kids that would drive me to school. They're like, I'm not going to pick you up tomorrow unless you draw Cypress Hill and EPMD and all this stuff, logos. I had to copy all the logos. Stussy, remember all that stuff?
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah, I was good at just the S.
Yeah.
That's as far as I ever got.
That's a classic.
Yeah, everybody can do the
Yeah.
S.
Well, remember how hard it was to find new music back then. You know, you probably heard about Cypress Hill like I did through word of mouth or
Yeah.
somebody, and we had to go to Target or Tower to
Yep.
find new music or read
Yeah.
a magazine or
Yeah,
something.
you have to go find those,
Yeah.
the hip hop magazine or the alternative rock magazine. I remember all the kids that we thought were kind of dirty when we were in like 6th grade. They all had the magazines that had Pearl Jam on the front of them.
Yeah.
Like, who's that?
I
Somebody
remember my
always-
kids are like, my kids steal music on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, they just download it without permission. And I'm like, dude, we used to have to go to the store and
Yeah.
steal.
Yeah.
You know, we had to take chances with our
Manually.
future.
Had to
That's
bring a magnet to get the strip not
Yeah.
working and all that.
That's
I
what
spent
the-
a summer in juvenile hall for a Phil Collins CD.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, don't say what you're in for. You're gonna get raped.
I know, bad taste in music, maybe, but I was thugged out.
Oh, that was what the big Jinkos were for, because
Yeah.
you could put a whole VHS in the pocket
Yeah.
of those huge pants. My daughter gets me new music. I've subbed the workout to her because she's on iTunes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She finds more new stuff. I mean, I don't have time anymore. I don't even know how to look for new music. I mean, the stuff.
I don't even
iTunes-
care anymore.
Yeah.
I like the music I like. I'm 45 now. That's my music.
Yeah.
You know, the stuff I grew up with.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I'm
where you
not. I don't need to discover some new.
Same with beer and
Who
restaurants.
cares?
It's like if I'm going to go out
Yeah.
or get something, I'm not going to go out on a limb anymore.
I know what I'm getting. I know what I'm getting.
Tired of experimenting.
Chicken fried steak most of the time.
My kid came down. My 13-year-old daughter came down into the kitchen with my wife and I and said, "Have you guys ever heard this? I just found this new band that she put on the Smiths, Morrissey." And we were like, so we started singing along. We knew every word.
Right.
And she was like, "How do
I
you
love
guys know this?"
It's
Yeah.
funny when your kids think they're showing you new music.
Yeah.
That's your stuff.
It's Stranger Things so
Yeah.
far. Like Stranger Things plays all the '80s music and all that,
Yeah.
and so now all these kids are
Oh,
are
yeah.
discovering it like it's some brand new stuff,
Yeah.
like
Who's
that
New
Kate
Order?
Bush song or whatever. Yeah.
I just showed my 10-year-old son Def Leppard. You know, Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
He was like, "Dude, this is like the best song ever." I'm like, "I know, right?"
That's another
It was.
graffiti I made for a girl. I didn't even know about any. I wasn't allowed to listen to any of it. I listened to Weird Al, but she was like, "Can you make me a picture of Def Leppard?" So I just drew a leopard that couldn't hear, that was getting bit by a bunch of little monster hearts because she said she liked the song "Love Bites." I had no idea
Are
what
you
any of it
serious?
was.
You just personified
Yeah.
the whole thing.
I got paid in learning how to French kiss. For that one.
Hey.
Did you ever make mixtapes for girls when you were little?
Not for girls. I made them for myself. I didn't even. No, I wasn't very romantic.
Okay,
I didn't get any Riz until I was
I got one
till
out there
just now.
that if I could go out and get it back, I would, because I did audio of myself between all the songs.
Oh,
But
really?
It was like passionate, romantic. I love you. I was like, I need to not have.
How
that
would you hate?
out. So
Wouldn't you
I'm,
hate for that to like resurface?
I'm still friends
now?
with her on Facebook. She could,
you still got
she
that
could
thing?
screw me if she wanted to.
It's your own personal Star Wars holiday special.
Yeah, as soon as you run for office, it's going to come
Yeah.
back.
That actually would be better than other options of things that could come back around.
True.
I would actually
Yeah.
prefer that.
True.
It's like when Kellyanne Conway had that video come out of her trying to do comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Was it I Want to Be Ninja?
Yeah, it was almost I Want to Be Ninja.
Oh God.
Quality.
I was about to say that wasn't her, was it?
So San Diego, you lived in San Diego for how long?
I think like 15 years.
You-
Yeah. I was stationed out there as a Marine.
Okay. There's a lot of Texan gatekeeping here. For like, I've been here since '04 and I have a wife and kids, but I'm not sure what it even means to be a Texan. We've got 2 real Texans here
Yeah.
besides myself. How do you qualify? What do I do? What do I got to do?
Well, I don't know, but first of all, I want to tell you that I could tell that
Yeah.
you were not a real Texan.
Okay.
All
You can
right.
always see the transplants.
Yeah. You don't look it, man.
Yeah. I guess I'm an Austinite.
I don't know. So what's the question? What does it take to be a real Texan?
Yeah.
Like at what point are you a Texan?
Well, you got to be born here.
Okay.
You can't become a
It's just
Texan.
like being the
There's no
president.
naturalized
Yeah.
citizen.
We'll let you live here, but
Okay.
you ain't one of us.
All right. I'm hiding behind my wife.
Yeah.
She can take care of me. She's my representation. So you moved back here.
Yeah, I moved back here shortly after I won the World Series of Comedy in 2016.
Nice.
Because part of the prize was that I won work at, I think it was like 35 different comedy clubs all over the country.
Nice.
So I wanted to move somewhere a little more centrally located so I could travel.
I like when you get rewarded with work. They
To
do
all
that at
these
my
places.
job. Do
Yeah.
a good job, you get to stay.
Right. There was no cash prize either. It was like this huge thing, and the finals in Las Vegas. There was all these shows, and I ended up winning. I'm like, wait, well, so what did I win? How much did I win? They're
Yeah.
like, no, you won work,
yeah.
feature work,
Okay.
which is like break even.
Yeah, it's like they pay you in exposure.
Yeah.
So you
Oh
got
wow! So I won the right to fly myself to Wisconsin
Right.
and do a weekend of shows for $400. That makes sense.
to tell the whole crowd I would never be here if it wasn't for
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chicken strips at the bar
There's
every
no
night.
reason
Yeah.
for anyone to go to Wisconsin except for having to go.
They serve cheese curds.
That's the only reason I've ever been to Dallas or Houston is because I had to go for something. I've never been for fun or like to check it out. It's always like, you got to go get your passport in Houston, or
Right.
there's a funeral in Dallas.
What are you going to go to Houston for fun for?
I feel like traffic.
Right.
Sit
If
in
you
tra-
like traffic, if you like getting shot at,
Yeah.
Just love the humidity. It feels so good.
yeah, it just hugs you like a warm, wet blanket.
Yep.
So you've been in Austin since yesterday, and you've been here a couple times before to do the mothership.
Yeah, I think this is my 5th trip to the mothership.
How do you like all the woodland people that we have? We have elves everywhere now.
What do you mean?
The homeless.
Oh, the homeless? I don't know. It's the same in every city. Every city thinks that their homeless is unique.
Yeah.
It is not.
It's hippies with ripped stuff. To me, they look like elves.
What's unique is if you see a homeless person in like a small town,
Yeah.
Yeah.
with like one traffic light. Like, what are you doing here?
Didn't you realize you're supposed to go to Austin?
Yeah, you guys are in the big. Go over there. Get on the bus.
I'm going to steal
Yeah.
one of those banners from the apartments by the woods where they live that says, if you lived here, you'd be home by now, and just change it so it says, if you lived here, you'd be homeless by now.
Yeah.
Put it over there in encampment. Have you watched Alone, the Survivor show?
No.
They just drop people off in the middle of nowhere. It's 10 people, 10 months?
It's just you stay
500.
as long as you can, and the last
Yeah.
one left before last one that doesn't tap out gets like $100,000 or
Yeah.
$500,000 or something like that.
But I think they're told by the producers that they have to like honor the land or honor the wildlife, because every time they kill something, they're like, "Thank you, squirrel.
Thank you for your life. I'm so sorry.
And
You know,
I
they have to
wanna-
be all spiritual about it.
I want
Oh,
there to
okay.
be like a Puck. Remember Puck from Real World?
Yeah.
I want there to be an asshole on that show where he's like,
Right.
"Fuck you, I ate you.
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
gonna kill
meat."
everything.
Yeah.
I'm out here like a wolf trying.
I'm only
to
going to
yeah.
take one bite and throw your carcass away.
I'm just gonna leave you.
next week on. I mean, I bet their viewership would go up.
Yeah.
Next week on Alone Asshole.
Yeah,
Puck
can you
eats
imagine?
everyone's peanut butter?
Can you imagine what their social media would look like? What like their subreddit would look like? I can't believe this person is totally being an asshole to the animals.
They should
know.
make that mandatory for assholes, just
Yeah.
like or people that I don't know, criminals or something. It could be like a punishment, and then we all get to watch.
Yeah. The what is it? Grand Royal Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. Yeah. Hunger Games.
Or Hunger
yeah.
Games.
Oh well, now we're getting too serious.
We
Yeah.
were sitting out in the backyard.
I mean, they don't have to
Wouldn't
die.
it be fun to watch them murder each other?
Hell yeah, the most dangerous game.
Ha ha.
We were sitting out in the backyard drinking, and during COVID.
Oh, I mean unalive.
Yeah,
for my
get
TikTok
unalived.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
sorry.
unalived. Yeah.
gotta use cutie speak.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So we were drinking in the backyard during COVID, and we heard a bunch of coyotes. And I was trying to get my neighbor to play along with. He doesn't understand comedy, and I was trying to joke around with him and stuff. And I was like, "Oh, you know, coyotes they eat people. They eat the asshole first. They go for the soft parts." And he was like, "Oh, I guess they'll come for you first, and we're safe. We can run
Nice.
because I'm the asshole."
Yeah, that's a good one.
That
Yeah.
sounds true, though.
Good for somebody who
You
doesn't
think
believe
they
in comedy.
Do they really eat the butthole first?
I mean, they always go for like the stomach and
Yeah.
like the stuff they can get in. It's not like they're going for,
It's
you know,
entry point.
they probably
the jaw
end up
first.
getting the crotch area.
yeah. Also, that area is probably the easiest one to grab a hold of when it's trying to run away.
don't
Right.
don't kink shame the coyotes. They
Yeah.
like to eat ass. That's all right.
But they're about balls high.
That's the most tender bits.
That's what the chimps go for whenever they mutilate you. Is they go for the soft, fleshy bits.
So you're a Texan. You'd say you're from Southeast Texas.
Yeah, near the Beaumont area.
Okay. We're going to Port Aransas next week, and I went down there for hurricane relief to Victoria.
Okay.
They got blasted, and we fixed
Yeah.
up all their intersections with flashing lights, and we had to put up stop signs and everything.
Nice.
We get hit by
Thank
a
you
lot
for
of-
your service.
Oh no, you. That was a one
I
week.
didn't do anything. That was more helpful than anything I did in the Marines.
No, we had people stopping and honking and saying thank you, and then we had other people stopping and honking, saying "Get the fuck out of the way."
Right.
This place was fine without traffic lights 10 years ago.
There was there's always those people. No change.
Did you get to keep any of your tactical Marine stuff after? Did you take home any?
I wasn't supposed to, but
Yeah.
we did keep some
You don't
cool
have to
stuff.
talk about it if you don't.
Yeah, no, I'll talk about it. I don't care. I don't know. I think there's probably a statute of
Come and take
limitations. Is there a statute of limitations on international weapons transfer?
I don't know. So you have to talk to
Ask-
Interpol about that.
Ask Oliver North, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
no,
bet-
guys were taking guns back and stuff.
Yeah.
People
A
came
friend
back
of
with
yours may or
AKs.
may not have taken something.
Yeah, I ended up with an AK for a little while.
Belongs in a museum.
Yeah, I got scared and sold it to a gangbanger.
Oh, there you
So
go.
it's
yeah.
out there.
He's keeping the streets safe for
Yeah.
you. And
Right.
Warren.
No, that's California. It's not my
Yeah.
problem anymore.
Yeah, that's Fast and Furious out there.
You ever notice how when you start a new job, it takes 90 days to get insurance? But that's also the honeymoon period for like a new couple. It's like 3 months and you start fighting.
Yeah.
So you can start a new job, start banging the secretary, and then get insurance just in time for her to scratch your eyes out for your first fight.
Hey, that's
The
good.
timing lines up.
Just make sure you get vision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the full vision and dental.
And dental, just
Yeah.
in case.
For her too, just in case
Right.
something might happen to her too.
Equal
never
rights
know.
and lefts.
That's like how your credit replaces itself in 7 years. Everything falls off your credit report after 7 years.
I hope that's true.
But that's because every 7 years, every cell in your body replaces itself. So you're a different guy.
Ah.
You'd be like, that was him.
I wonder, has that ever been argued in court? That's a great.
Yeah.
Like, Your Honor, that wasn't even me.
I didn't rack that debt up. That was that other asshole. I've replaced him. I've upgraded myself now. My daughter was asking me if I knew what pansexual was. And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
this is a guy that fucks lost boys on an island. Peter Pan. Sexual.
I think that's what Captain Hook was.
That was the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Facebook, how I had some distant family member come out as pansexual on Facebook, and whenever my dad was reading it, he was like, "What does that mean? They have sex with animals?"
Pansexual just means that, like, you'll have sex with anything.
Yeah,
Right.
any body.
You ever notice it's not ever, like, a really attractive person?
Yeah, it's like swingers.
It's always
you know?
somebody with no options.
Yeah.
So now it's every option.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm very forward thinking. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you just don't have options.
I broadened my horizons because
Yeah.
I can't get it from where
It's the opposite of another person I knew who was incredibly unlucky in love and decided just to come out as asexual.
Yeah.
That's like the opposite of pansexual.
You
It's
can't
like,
fire
yeah.
me, I quit.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
a you can't fire me, I quit situation, right?
It's not that I can't get laid, it's that I won't.
Yeah, it's that I just don't even have that in me.
Yeah, okay.
So I've got a daughter that's getting into the mid to late teens. And you said you've got young ladies over there that are getting older. I had all my friends are telling me, the things that are going to happen to my daughter because of what I deserve from growing up.
Oh, yeah, no, that better not be true.
I had a girl's dad tell me when I was 16, I took her out on a date. Second date, he didn't know about the first date. We had to sneak. So the second date, he was like, "Whatever you do to my daughter, I'm going to do to you." So I was like, "Well, we already went out. So you're going to take me to a movie I don't want to see. You're going to buy me dinner and pay for all of it.
I would've-
You're not even going to let me hold your hand."
I would have been like, well, guess what? I just sucked her dick.
Whatever.
Get to work, Dad.
Yeah, you want to see a lady's balls? I have a new thing I'm doing. So I work for, I can't say where I work, but I worked in traffic control before.
CIA.
Yeah. We used to ride around in trucks putting out cones for marathons and stuff.
Okay.
And when you would see a woodland person or an elf going through the trash, everybody in the car would go, slow down, roll the window down. And I was like, what's going on? Am I being hazed? What's happening? And we slow down and pull up next to the guy in the garbage, and the guy would yell at the window, "Get out of there!" And he would jump 3 feet in the air. So it turned into, as there more and more homeless come to Austin, it's got even more and more fun because they're in the dumpsters and they're in the
It
woods.
does sound like fun.
Just yell, "Get out of there" at them.
We should do that after this. We should go homeless hollering.
Let's go.
We have to do that in the woods now.
Get out of there!
That was what was so special about the homeless in Austin was that our city council decided, hey, you guys can just camp out on the sidewalks everywhere.
Yeah.
And that got pretty bad around COVID, right? It was in the middle of COVID that we voted to bring back the camping ban. So that was something special about us that we had under every single overpass. We had tent cities.
I think you
For a
could
while.
solve that by just organizing real avid campers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like, you know what? Let's bring our RVs and park on the sidewalk. You said we could camp
Yeah.
anywhere. You
Yeah.
know, just
I like-
show them the ridiculousness of it.
I like your idea of having an app and saying for $5 we can get one homeless person off the street,
Yeah.
and then they'll be gone somehow. Don't
Yeah.
worry about how. They're gone.
That was I used to have a joke format called statuses I can't post on social media, like things I can't say.
Right.
And one of them was like just to post on Facebook, man, we really need a final solution for Austin's homeless problem.
Oh, damn.
Well, Israel told Palestine, stop being there. You had to move.
Stop being there.
And they wouldn't move. And they asked them over and over again to stop being there, and they wouldn't move. So then they made them, unalived them.
Yeah.
That was the solution. If you stop telling somebody to be a place enough times, eventually you're just going to say, stop being, period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to just not exist anymore. But I don't know where to put them all. I don't know where they came from. I think they're all the dirtbag, flipnotics, hippies from.
We should make their
20 years
families
ago.
take them back.
Yeah.
Go.
Don't you have a mommy?
Yeah. Or a son. Go live with your sons. Go be his problem, not ours.
I don't know. I heard there's a big trash island in the middle of the Pacific made of floating plastic. They could go there.
There is, but it's not bothering anybody.
They can get stem
Let it
cell
be out
surgery out there and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Oh, make them live on the trash
Yeah.
island? That's funny. I
It's
like
load
that.
bearing to a
Yeah.
certain degree. So my new thing of yelling at people now, because I have to commute and I hate it and I'm bored, is if it's not a homeless guy in the trash. Now, if I see somebody with their dog going to the bathroom, I'll slow down and roll the window down and pull up like an autistic 10-year-old and be like, ew, poop.
Yeah.
That's gross. Sir, that's yucky.
Just a way to entertain
Because
yourself.
they're already all like nervous and weird with the dog.
Yeah.
They're already very vulnerable.
Like, make sure you wipe him.
They're about as vulnerable.
You're
as
not
a-
even going to wipe the dog?
Sir, where's your green bags?
You don't wipe your dog?
Where's your
Ew.
finger gloves? Ew.
Ew.
You ever? How was breakfast? Did you enjoy breakfast?
Breakfast was good.
You ever have a bad meal and end up talking to your stomach like a horse? Like, oh, yeah. Whoa,
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes.
Donnie
Yeah.
and I have been
Not
walking.
today. It was good.
We've been walking a lot, trying to lose weight, and depending on when's the last time I've eaten, there's only a certain distance I can get from the house before I'm like, I'm gonna have to head back before
Oh,
I have
yeah.
to start talking to it.
Yeah, the older you
Hey,
get,
whoa,
the older you
Nelly.
get, the shorter your walks are.
simmer down
Yeah.
there.
Or you have to like map it out so that there's
Yeah,
bathrooms
you
along
just
the
have
way.
to time it right. You just have to
Yeah.
take some planning. Just a
good
little
for
bit
a-
of discipline.
Good for a third of a mile.
Oh, trust me, driving a truck, I know where all the best bathrooms in Austin are.
Oh yeah, I
It's
bet.
in an office park. The bathroom is like a fucking spa.
Oh yeah.
Each cubicle has its own AC duct and drywall and a locking knob. I know where all those are.
Some of the best bathrooms are like department stores, like a Dillard's or
Yeah.
a Macy's.
Yeah, the Domain. I was in one of those and I heard an old guy talking to his dick. He was trying to pee. He couldn't pee.
Yeah.
And he didn't know I was in the stall. So I guess he didn't do the customary
Yeah.
look for feet. And he went to the urinal and I was completely silent. I probably fucked up. I should have done the
Yeah.
type. I forgot.
Scoot your feet or something.
I was probably looking at my phone or something. But he starts going, come on, little buddy. Come on, you can do it. Come on. We got to get back to work. Let's get this done. And then he finally started peeing and he's like, yeah, there you go. That's good. And I really wanted to be like, you did it, buddy.
Yeah, good job. Start clapping.
Just start talking and giving him prostate advice.
We've pulled
So
together
if you-
and we've made it
You
happen.
should really go get checked, sir. It should be easier than this.
I don't know if you noticed in the bathroom in there's a sign that says "You poopin'."
Yeah.
I did. I like that.
So that's an inside joke with me and my brother.
You
One
pooping?
day during South by Southwest, we were like out. During the day you can go just drink everywhere for free half the time, and we were in this bar, and we were sitting at the bar drinking, and I was like, I got to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, peed, and came back to the bar. But I came back a slightly different way that went around the other side of the restaurant, and my brother wasn't there anymore. So I was sitting at the bar drinking, and then he walks up and he sees me, and he has this just absolute panicked look on his face. So apparently what happened is I went to the restroom, peed real fast, and left. And he didn't see me walking out of the bathroom and passing him as he went to the bathroom. So he walked in, saw that there was somebody in the stall, thought that it was me, and goes, "You pooping?" So some poor person was taking a crap in the stall and had a random stranger walk in and ask them if they're pooping.
You pooping?
So that's become our inside joke. And so he got little signs made for our whole family to put in all of our bathrooms that says "You pooping."
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was a very cute bathroom
Yeah.
sign.
We got one.
All right. Well,
One at our house.
let's take a little break here, and we'll be right back.
I feel like unattractive people are the ones still wearing the mask.
Yeah.
Like they don't really care about the disease. They're just like, I get more dates this way. You know?
I think they were trying to kill white entitlement because you get a lot of opportunities from smiling and shaking hands with other gentlemen.
Right.
You couldn't do that anymore. Couldn't get a job. Couldn't get nothing.
No
At least you can
shit,
still
right?
look them in the eye.
Can't shake hands. Yeah.
Hey, we're
No
back with the
sitting on
gospel hour.
So we had a previous guest on here that asked us if we ever noticed that there are no women mass shooters. Oh, they're all men.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What? You got to get out of bed first to shoot him."
Right. Women don't shoot too many people, though. There's probably women mass poisoners.
Yeah. Well,
Women.
there's
They've
been
done.
several of those angel of death type nurses
Yeah.
Oh,
that
yeah.
will just kill patients and stuff.
Oh yeah. There's been mass passive aggressiveness.
Oh yeah.
I'm a month older than my wife, so that during that month, I love to rub it in her face that I'm a year older than her at that time.
Right.
And
She should respect her
everything
elders.
that happens, I'm like, you'll understand when you're 46.
Yeah.
But my new favorite one is because they ask the guy to do the vows first when you get married, and then the girl. I'm the relationship expert because I've been married for 30 seconds longer than she
Ooh, I
has.
like that.
I said I do. You didn't say I do until after.
Hopefully she's not watching right
so
now.
I know everything about marriage. What do you think about the submarine situation?
Man,
Pay
that's a
attention to
weird
all that?
thing, isn't it? Submarine. So these guys all paid like how much? How much did they pay? Like 100,000?
Yeah, it was like 6 figures to go down to the Titanic.
They
Right.
should have just paid James Cameron. He already
I
did it
know.
5 times.
I was looking at some pictures of that thing, and it was not made well.
I know. So apparently you can just throw together a submarine and then say, "Hey, give me $500,000," and then they'll just do it, and you
Yeah.
go down there.
Are they in trouble?
Yeah.
Like, are they going to have to pay a lot of money to the families of these people, or did they just make a lot of money?
I think the guy is really good with legal loopholes. That's how they were able to embark
It's
in the first
international
place.
waters.
Yeah.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm all
Well, I
for
think-
capitalism.
I think the guy who's most responsible for it was in the sub. So
I think what
Good luck.
everybody should learn is that wherever there's not air, that's none of our business.
yeah.
You know, under the water, in space,
Yeah.
the ghost realms. If there's not air, humans aren't qualified to go fuck around.
Yeah.
I don't understand what was supposed to be so cool about going to see the Titanic at the bottom of the ocean.
Brave, I'm an explorer.
Like
No, you're dumb.
It's covered in barnacles. And,
There's no
Yeah.
breathing. If there's no breathing there,
right. I need breathing.
we don't. I need to.
Do they have breathing in the first class section?
That's the first thing you asked us when we invited you on the show. Do you guys have air?
Yeah.
I need to be able to have.
It's in my rider.
I want the green M&Ms.
and,
Yeah.
and oxygen.
Yeah.
The president keeps falling over, so I'm working on a bit about when you hit your head, they ask you who the president is. So if he gets inaugurated again, he'll probably fall over, and they'll be like, "Who's the president?" And he's like, "Oh, Shirley Temple."
Barack Obama. You know he's going to say Barack Obama.
What's the president's?
Yeah, we were talking about our our kind of how everything's so scattered politically these days. There are so many funny little clips of Biden trying to say a sentence that
Yeah.
just make you laugh, but you can only see those on like conservative pro-Trump Twitter people. You can't see that. I don't see anybody who's on the left saying, "Ha, look at Joe Biden trying to talk."
Well, he's trying to dead name Trump. He
don't-
won't
Yeah.
say Trump.
Yeah.
So he always says because of the problems of the previous administration,
Yeah,
but he
right.
really trips over all that.
Yeah, the problems of the president.
I don't
Yeah.
see any pro-Biden stuff from the left either, though. Like, there's not a
Yeah.
whole lot of, like, montages of him saying anything right or,
Well,
like, doing awesome
Well, for
things.
for a while, it was them trying to meme him as Dark Brandon.
Yeah.
Which Dark Brandon is the same thing as Let's Go Brandon. Yeah, for about 3 weeks it was funny, right?
Yeah.
And then the people who really aren't good at memes or aren't really that funny just drive it into the ground. So the Dark Brandon was funny for a while where
What
it was
is
like
Dark Brandon? I didn't know that.
it
one.
was like whenever he had some
state.
like legislative success or something, like they started making these memes of him with like laser eyes, like Dark Brandon got it done, haha. It's one of those kind of like, oh, you Trump people are memeing about Trump being the God Emperor. Well, this is our God Emperor, and it's Dark Brandon. And for a while it was kind of funny. But then eventually the people, just gets run into
It
the
didn't
ground.
stick.
Yeah, it didn't stick.
There was a
there's
bunch
a
of-
there's a half-life on comedy.
I thought they were calling him Dark Brandon because he shits his pants.
It's the dark spot, Brandon. Actually, I just have a little brown spot.
Old skid mark Brandon.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of pro-Biden stickers on all the gas pumps when the prices went back down, and it still said, "I did that."
Yeah,
On the
yeah.
pumps.
It turned from anti-Biden to pro-Biden. It's funny how when you change a number.
Yeah, all those
You know.
people have to go take their stickers off when the
Yeah.
gas prices went back down. God damn it!
Yeah. Yeah, I remember it was probably 2 or 3 months into the Biden administration where I was like, wait a minute, who's president again?
Yeah.
It was actually pretty nice not really hearing about the president every single day in the latest outrage.
I was like, you got hit on the head.
Yeah.
I used to do a bit about when he was vice president.
Yeah.
just about how nobody knows who he was.
He
He was pretty under the radar as vice president.
He was America's comfort safety friend. When you bring another person on a date, they didn't want everybody to be scared of a Barack Obama. So like, let's put this old George Washington looking ass motherfucker in there.
This guy who's been around for 50 years. The Onion, the best part of Biden being vice president was the stuff the Onion did, because they basically made him like kind of like a white trash good old boy, like he washing his Dodge Charger in the White House lawn, or he's got a bunch of copper wire he's got to unload. It was a bunch of those kind of stories. They called him Diamond Joe Biden.
Yeah,
that was when
like he's got a sawzall and he's cutting off catalytic converters.
Yeah,
in the parking lot of the White House.
He should have kept those aviators on because he's always squinting.
Yeah.
That's probably why we're not getting along with Asia right now, because every time he goes over there, they think he's making fun of them. Like, what is he doing with his eyes? Cut it out, asshole. Put your aviators back on. He's like, oh, yeah.
Dude, I thought George W. Bush squinted, man. Then Biden is like, his eyes are freaking closed,
He's
man.
stoned, man. He's on all them weird pills.
Yeah,
That's what the last debate was.
Running,
Between him and Trump, it was just two old guys fighting about who gets the...
So whose coke do you think that was?
Yeah. Well, I immediately started posting Hunter Biden memes.
Monica Lewinsky.
Yes, Monica.
She's snorting it off Clinton's dick. Clinton's penis.
Yeah, it's stuck around.
Yeah.
No, I don't think she would have left any.
Yeah.
She's
a good Hoover.
Yeah, I think she was good at sucking stuff up.
Thank you for your cervix. So here's something weird that my wife does that I'm wondering if everyone else's wife does this. In the morning, on the weekends, she's extremely affectionate, and I don't understand why until I realize she's trying to get me to go get tacos.
Oh, yes.
Everybody's an asshole in the morning when they wake up.
Yeah.
Your first instinct is to be like, fuck you, get the fuck out of my... turn the lights off.
Yeah.
But she starts acting real nice, and I'm like, where you want me to go to Arundina's, or do you want me to go to Meet Mommy's? What kind of... You want potato, egg, and cheese, right? And you want a bacon? You want me to get the kids?
Right, you know what she wants.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'll go.
That's the thing. Women don't even want you to ask.
Yeah.
They want you to just know.
Yeah.
You know, like women are famous for being like, for saying things like, if you don't know, then that's half the problem.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know why I'm mad,
Yeah.
it's like, well, no, it doesn't work. Communicate. Use your words.
No, we get into that with restaurants. She asked me where I want to eat, and she already has somewhere in mind. And at one time recently, I guessed the same place she was thinking of, and she was like, that's so romantic. I knew you were thinking the same thing. And I'm like, I don't want to play this game, though. And I don't even want to go out to eat with you anymore.
Yeah, no, I just guessed lucky this time.
Annoying.
It's not romantic.
This is what we've been doing for 15 years, and it finally took me 15 years to guess right, and now it's romantic.
I think that's what the Notebook originally was, just him trying to keep track of what she likes.
Yeah.
We went to San Francisco last March, 2 Marches ago, and we saw all the tankers in the bay full of shipping containers.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, oh, it's a supply chain issue. But what you hear about those is that there's people in them sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? And they're still there.
Oh, yeah.
So that's like people soup now.
There's a
they're
whole
getting
season
hot.
of The Wire about that.
Yeah. And that's why there's no
It's the evergreen containers. That's what they say.
that's why the sex trafficking industry has been backed up, because of supply chain issues.
I
It's,
know.
it's not that
dude.
nobody wants to work anymore. It's that there's nobody to work.
I've had a sex slave on back order for 3 months.
God damn it. It's like Kickstarter, you pay for the thing and it's not there yet.
Another Kickstarter delay. Ugh.
Well, yeah, another thing about marrying into Southern family is there's a lot of common courtesy stuff that was not common to me being from the East Coast.
Oh, yeah.
Like waiting for everybody to sit down before you eat.
Yeah.
Or say grace or all this other. There's a lot of polite stuff. You know, we can't show up at anyone else's house without bringing something. And all my buddies are, East Coast Kevin Smith dirtbag type, pop by. Hey, what's up? I'm at your door. Let's hang out.
Yeah.
What's in your fridge type of thing.
Yeah.
So it's a strange adjustment to be, married with kids and have everybody. Well, we can't go over there. We got to make potato salad first. And they can't come over here because the house isn't clean. I'm like, these are my asshole buddies from back in the day. They can come pop by. It's fine.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff that people think is common courtesy that's not necessarily common.
That's true. I figured that out. I used to drive a truck for a little while, and I drove up into like the Midwest, like Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And they were just not friendly.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I'm here to deliver this thing. And they're like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to make conversation. Yeah, I just drove all the way in from Texas. Sign here.
You knew I was
I'm like,
coming. You
hey!
didn't make potato salad.
Yeah, you didn't make sweet tea?
You're supposed to have Sanka and Entenmann's ready just in case somebody pops by.
Like, I tried your cheese curds. They suck.
Yeah.
So is Vet TV involved at all with the Adam Driver thing? Have you heard of his thing? He's got a thing for acting for vets,
I don't think so.
for comedy.
Who's that? I don't know who that
He's
is.
Kylo Ren from Star Wars.
He's an
He's
actor
a vet.
now.
Yeah, he's a vet, but he's also an actor. And
Okay.
he has a bunch of organizations that he's involved with that are like for
Adam Driver?
Yeah.
I'll have to check him out.
Yeah, maybe he can link him up with Vet TV.
You probably seen
No.
him. That's what he looks like.
Oh, yeah.
He's been in movies.
I don't know about that. But Vet TV is a really cool platform for veterans. It's made by veterans for veterans.
Fubu.
And it's, FUVU.
It's the British FUBU, or not? It's the Latin FUBU. Yeah, FVBV. Yeah.
For veterans. Yeah, but no, it's really great. They got a lot of great programs on there and comedy, just really dark stuff, because in the military and in the veteran community, we're known for our dark humor, just because that's how we get through some of these crazy situations. It's just by laughing our way through it.
It's like when cops find a body in the river, they're like, "I got a floater."
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. You gotta be able to whistle through the graveyard.
We were talking over breakfast about kids looking up stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
And my son's first time seeing ass was this old biker lady that we know. She burnt her hip on some part of the bike trying to fix it.
Oh.
And we were just hanging out in his grandparents' kitchen, and she was like, "Look here, look what happened." And she pulled her whole pants down, and her whole ass was out. And my son was like 9, and he was like, looked horrified. And I was like, that's the first live ass he ever saw.
No.
70-year-old
No.
burnt biker lady.
You have to have a talk with him
Yeah.
later.
No.
Like, hey, son, it gets better.
It's
like
better.
It gets better talk, but
Speaking of Kim Kardashian, I'm sure he can figure it out that there's better ass out there
Right.
in the world. We had my parents visiting for dinner, and they're, a lot more conservative than we are. And my daughter spilled something. And my wife always tells the kids the number one rule of the house is everything's washable. It's not a big deal. If you spill or something breaks, we can clean it up. Don't cry over spilled milk, type of thing.
Okay.
But my main rule of the house is don't fuck with mom. That's what I always tell them. Do not fuck with mom. You're going to make everybody have a bad day. She controls the vibe in the house. I see you fucking with mom, and so don't be surprised if a lot of more shit goes wrong around here. There's not going to be no dinner. You're not going to have no clean clothes. Nothing. Everything's going to come to a screeching halt if you fuck with mom. So we're having dinner with my parents. My daughter spilled something. She goes, "Oh, no." And my wife goes, "It's okay. What's the number one rule of the house?" And she goes, "Don't fuck with mom."
No way.
My parents were like, ugh. And I was like, well, she's ready for junior high now, I
Yeah.
guess.
I don't know if my parents had a number one rule, but from my dad, I heard quite a bit. Sorry, don't fix it.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that
Like
one a
you'd
lot.
spill and be like, sorry, don't fix it. Clean it up. Okay.
It's very God of War. Do not be sorry. Be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do better.
Do you guys have a lot of family private jokes that you don't say? Like, when I was growing up, they were like, this is family talk. Don't talk about this outside the house. If we made any kind of inappropriate humor, and, the don't fuck with mom was probably family talk, and I didn't tell them.
Yeah, I try to have stuff like that, but kids today don't understand how to keep secrets.
Yeah.
Like, they're not scared of us,
Yeah.
Right.
Like, there was no CPS when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Or if there was, we didn't know about it.
I told my dad that. He was like, those are the good old days.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. They were.
My kids were bad, and I was like, what did you do when we did this kind of stuff? And he was like, you guys are just good.
I remember my dad threatening to kill me, and
Yeah.
I believed him.
Yeah.
He would say, I'm going to tear you limb from limb. And I'd be like, what does that mean? He's like, I'm going to tear your arms off and your legs.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy
Have
crap.
you seen Star Wars? You know what Chewbacca does when he loses his chest?
Yeah.
I'm going to pull your arms off.
Yeah.
And now I try to threaten my son. I'm like, you do that, I'll kill you. He's like, then you'll go to prison. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Good.
gladly.
I'm not scared of jail.
No,
I'll
he
go back, motherfucker.
Calls my bluff, and I'll call CPS. I'm like, you call CPS, you'll be dead before they get here.
Yeah.
Call an ambulance, too. Call the hearse and CPS at
I
the
will
same time.
unalive you.
If I'm gonna get caught, I'm gonna make it count. Yeah.
So one thing I noticed about moving to Texas is people talk a little slower down here. Other people say the same thing.
Yes,
And
I've heard
it's
that.
not a laziness thing. I think it's has to do with having built all of this, and now you can rest on
Enjoy
your
it,
laurels. You know, like you bush hogged all your acres of land, so
Yeah.
now you can go fishing in the fishing hole. You still got a fishing hole out there?
Not on my property, but
Okay.
yeah, we could
But you've earned the right to
sneak onto the neighbor's property and fish in his
Yeah, you
pond, outrun the bull.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not laziness so much as just
We just take our time,
we made it here and we've done it, and we're enjoying a mint julep on the porch.
right?
So you can catch up with this pace.
I like that a lot better. Yeah, I mean, I guess just because I grew up with it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've been to the East Coast where people are like, blah, 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 blah. It's like, what, dude? Slow down. Like,
Yeah.
is what you're saying even valuable?
We're very quick. My son was born a month early. I always tell everybody he came early, just like Dad. I was telling my dad about we were bitching about flying and stuff, and he was saying something about the stewardess, and my mom was like, they're not called stewardesses anymore, and I was like, yeah, Dad. And he was like, oh, okay, air broads.
Air Broads. I would watch a movie called Air Broads.
Call them whatever you want. I call them air broads.
Oh, broads. What a great word.
Does your wife
I
ever
love
help
it.
you write jokes or give you any material?
Yes, actually. My wife's very, very funny.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the reason why I started dating her and why I married her.
Yeah.
Great sense of humor, which is very rare
Yeah.
to me,
Yeah.
because I'm pretty conservative in my views of like women aren't funny normally.
Yeah.
Terrible
Very-
storytellers.
Very traditional
usually.
views. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've got just over 1,000 viewers or followers on my TikTok.
Yeah.
She has 50,000,
Okay.
and she's not even a comedian. She just gets on there and tells stories about her day. She's a home health nurse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She tells these stories. They're hilarious. She's
Yeah.
a great storyteller.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to give me those.
She's like my best friend.
The links. I'll have to look at that. My wife helped me write this one. We were talking about how they keep adding stuff to the LGB thing.
Yeah.
So she's like, until they figure it out, they should just call it LGTBD.
Yeah.
To
That's
be
a good one.
determined. Just take eventually it's going to be the whole alphabet.
Yeah. And then we're going to start going into like other language characters and
Yeah.
Emojis.
yeah, Latin.
I worked with this guy named Jimmy Bohack. We were on this crew together, and he would take these long cigarette breaks and smoke Pall Malls, and
Yeah.
gave us all a break because he was the lead on the crew. So because he was old and a smoker, he was the only old fat smoker I've ever seen. There's not a lot of old
Right,
fat.
hanging
They're
in there.
usually gone.
Yeah.
But he would, we'd pull up downtown in the middle of a couple projects. He'd go, well, we're going to take a break here in the shade. And he told me a story about how he became a police officer. He has a lot of old cop stories from Luling. He was a sheriff's deputy in Luling. He said they used to get $4 a head to put Mexicans in a van and just send them down to the border, like a informal deportation.
Oh, yeah.
You get a bonus check. $4 per head if you
$4 per head.
find one in the 70s. You just put them in this van and they take them.
It's a taking homeless to Austin situation.
in the 70s.
Yeah.
Wonder how many legal citizens they made go to Mexico.
How many people got 12 years a slave?
Right, because they didn't have a lot of documentation.
Yeah,
back
just
then.
because they hadn't gotten their driver's license yet.
Didn't have their little piece of paper on them.
Yeah.
But he said when he was 17, he wanted to be in the Banditos. He thought that was cool,
Oh yeah.
He grew up with James Dean and Rebel Without a Cause and all. He wanted to be in a motorcycle gang.
Mm-hmm.
So he was having Thanksgiving with his family. And his uncle, who was a cop, said, what do you want to be when you grow up, Jimmy? And he said, I'm going to be in a gang. I'm about to buy a motorcycle. I got my little strap here. I got my pistol. I'm going to be in a bandito. And his uncle said, well, that doesn't sound like a very good idea. Let's go and have a beer. Now, you're 17. You can drink. Back then, he could drink with like a guardian.
Mm-hmm.
So they went to this podunk beer shack. And they sat at the bar, and his uncle said, I'll make you a bet. Let's go outside and fight. And if I win, I can join you up on the force tomorrow. And if you win, you can drive a goddamn clown car for all I care. Do whatever the hell you want. Be in a gay bike gang or whatever. And he was like, "Uncle, I love you, and I don't want to hurt you, and I'm getting ready to be in this bike gang now, so
I'm real tough.
I'd hate for something to happen." And he said, "Well, let's go outside and smoke a cigarette." So they went outside and smoked a cigarette, and he said, "All right, let's figure out what you're going to do with your life. You ready, boy?" And he took a swing at his uncle, and his uncle dodged and hit him in his ear. And he said his head started ringing, and he got real upset. And then he came at his uncle, and he said his uncle worked him over like a buzzsaw, like it was a wood shop. He just destroyed him. He woke up the next morning in his bed with a busted lip, blood coming out of his ear, busted nose, black eye. His mother came in his room and said, "Jimmy, what happened?" And he said, "I'm going to be a police officer." And he told her what happened, and she was like, "Your uncle never told you that he's the Golden Gloves boxing champion of the Marines?"
Oops.
He beat the Golden Gloves boxing champion of the Army and the Navy to become the Golden Gloves champion. He's like, "No, I didn't know that." "I guess I'm going to be a police officer."
Damn.
With half of my lip falling off now.
All right, we're going to take one more break, and we'll be back. All right, we're back. Segment 3 on the God-Awful Gospel Hour.
Did you go to college anywhere?
I did a little bit of college here and there.
Same. I went to 3 different colleges, didn't finish.
Yeah. You don't need to finish.
No.
I went to most of it. I went to graphic design school.
Same.
Really?
Communications 101?
I did communications 101 and all of that. And I almost graduated. I mean, I got 9/10 of it done.
And then as soon as we finished school, none of it applied anymore because nobody needs Quark Express or Page.
Well,
I
just didn't see the point. I had an opportunity to go overseas and entertain the troops.
Yeah.
So I did that instead of turning in my final project.
But you're my age. In high school, we had like drafting and technical drawing. They don't do any of that anymore. It's all AutoCAD.
Oh, yeah.
So everything that we learned was obsolete almost immediately, like right after we graduated college, I guess. For me, 95, high school, you 96. Then we would have graduated college 2000. That was when.
Yeah.
They didn't have to worry about Y2K.
I did it much
anymore.
later. Later, though. I was like in my late 30s.
Do you still mess around with any of that stuff?
A little bit.
Yeah. Same.
My mom was like, "Why didn't you just finish and get your diploma?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, I just finished graphic design school. I'm pretty sure I can make a diploma."
Yeah.
They're not going to check.
I can draft me up something.
I went to college, and I majored in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Yeah.
I missed all my classes because I played too much Tony Hawk.
By the way, that's one of my friend's jokes. That's Sean Halpin's
nice.
joke.
Okay. I went to college in Southern Virginia, and just most of it was spent visiting my friends at their colleges because I was down a couple hours from Blacksburg where Tech was. A lot of friends went to Virginia Tech, and we were having a party. My friend's house. It was like a frat house, but it was for indie art dirtbags, so I didn't have an official Epsilon designation. It's just a shitty house on the corner.
Yeah.
But we didn't have enough people at our party, and we wanted to get more people to come to the party, so we drove around, took mushrooms, drove around, listened to George Michael, Freedom, and Delight, Groove is in the Heart over and over again, and stole traffic cones, and then rerouted traffic so everybody had to come to our party.
Good, clean fun right there.
Yep.
And then I got in the front yard, and this girl was like, "I bet if you blow this bourbon over that tiki torch, it'll make a fireball." And to my fucked up ass, I heard, "If you can blow a fireball over this tiki torch, you're going to get your dick sucked." So
You just heard blow.
I have to blow a fireball over this thing. So I tried it with the brandy. It didn't work. And then I thought, well, what about that stuff that's in the tiki torch? Of course, that's flammable, whatever that stuff is. And they were like, "No, don't put that in your mouth. That's bad. It's like wax or something."
Yeah.
But then the guy who lived in the house was like, "Oh, I got a whole can full of gasoline for the lawnmower in the shed. You could do that." Because I heard
didn't.
there was people that do that trick where you put gasoline on your hand and light it, and you can kind of hold it, and it doesn't burn your skin.
Yeah.
It just burns
I
the
think
gas.
that's probably like rubbing alcohol or
Yeah.
something a little.
Something quick. Yeah.
So I had a measuring
Something with
cup
a lower flash point.
full of gasoline, and I took a mouthful of it and blew it over this tiki torch. It made an awesome fireball.
Yeah.
And then I backed up, and my face was on fire.
Yeah.
And then, so stop, drop, and roll, right? but I still had a half cup of gasoline in my hand.
Dude.
So I dropped that in the lawn and rolled in it. So I'm in hell,
Yes.
basically. So I run inside. Oh my God! Everybody's like, "Go inside, hose yourself off." And so I ran inside, ran upstairs, the only bathroom. I got in the tub and just like washed and blowjobbed a piece of soap and was trying to get all this gasoline out. And I hear all this pounding on the stairs, boom, 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 and everybody's coming upstairs. And I'm like, oh no, the house is on fire. We got to get out of here. I get out of the tub and I'm like, oh. My best friend is like, the photo is so beautiful.
You got a picture? Nice.
It's like a Polaroid.
And somebody used it for an art project of like how to do things right and how to do things wrong. So they had like a blowing guy from the circus.
Right, doing it right.
Next to me.
You're the example. Yeah.
And then you rolling around on fire.
So he got an A. That was good for him.
The
I
wrong
guess.
way.
But I didn't get permanent damage. I'm
That's
perfect.
amazing. I know. You're telling the story. I'm looking at you. I'm like, he doesn't look disfigured.
He's got all his hair. Yeah.
Have you ever been in trouble with the law? Have you ever been locked up or anything?
Oh, yeah. A couple of times.
Stuff that you want.
I'm on probation right now.
Oh hell yeah! Where's your ankle bracelet?
I'm not. It's not that serious. I got a DWI
Okay.
about a little over a year ago. I'm almost done.
That's a COVID DWI, just about, right?
Yeah.
I know a couple people have gotten some of those.
Yeah.
Cops didn't have much to do. There wasn't anybody out.
Donnie got arrested for drugs at Coachella.
No, I spent 4 hours in a federal holding cell in Sierra Blanca, Texas.
Oh, nice.
So you know that Border Patrol checkpoint that's just on this side of El Paso?
Yeah.
Where they get everybody. We were coming back with just a tiny little bit of weed from Coachella. And we're going through like real early in the morning, and the drug dogs supposedly alerted on our car, and they dragged us all into a holding cell for 4 hours, and we waited for the sheriff to come just write a ticket. That was all it ended up being. But we got arrested at 4:20 in the morning on 4/20, 2010.
Nice. So
Bro.
appropriate.
Yeah.
By a 69-year-old cop.
Yeah. That was the first time I was in any type of jail situation.
Yeah.
Second time is I got a DWI. This has been 12 years ago or so now here in Austin. So I got to do the whole Austin thing with because they are crazy about catching drunk drivers here.
What you hear now is it costs like $20,000 to get out of it.
Yeah, for me it was 4, but I also got it dismissed or deferred because I actually blew below the legal limit, which is a fun thing that they can still arrest you for when you blow below the legal limit.
Ain't that a bitch?
Yeah, and I shouldn't have. You know, they tell you you're not supposed to blow. You really shouldn't do it.
You got FedEx here.
But I was like, I don't really care.
Yeah, I refused
like,
to blow.
Well, I was
No
just in
refusal
such a good mood because I was buzzed that I was like, I just want to see how drunk I am.
Yeah.
And I blew, and it was below the limit. And then my lawyer told me, that was like the 1% of cases where blowing actually helped you,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
because it was like 0.076 or something.
Oh.
And I was like, that's below the limit. And they're like, well, we're still arresting you. So
They should have held up a tiki torch and see if you could blow a fireball.
Yeah.
You know, how alcoholic your breath really was.
right. Yeah.
I blew twice the limit.
Nice.
I was
Nice.
hammered for real. I was like, good job, you guys. You got me.
They put you on the wall like the cheese factory. This guy ate the most burgers.
Yeah.
They gave you a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I got busted in North Carolina for possession of paraphernalia with intent to ingest. We were on our way to a beach rave in Outer Banks, and I was driving, helping the DJ and his girlfriend. I was doing the lights for this beach rave. We had to ferry people back and forth
Yeah.
across the sand to where the actual rave was at. So we had a lot of shit in the coffin in the back in the turntables. There's pills and everything. And he got pulled over for running a stop sign in the middle of the night. And while they were booking him, we took the car around a corner to this tiny ass town in North Carolina and threw everything in the garbage and came back. And we're just waiting on him to find out what the bail was and get him out. And the cop came back and said, our K9 unit alerted the trunk of your vehicle. We'd like to search it. And we were like, yeah, fuck you. There's nothing in there, because we knew we had emptied anything. And then he brought in my shoulder bag. It was one of those gay, weird messenger bags from the late 90s, early, like all the pockets. It's like
Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah. So he was like, the dog alerted this bag. Can we search it? And I was like, yeah, fuck you. There's nothing in there. They found a ceramic bowl from a previous trip to Philly that my buddy had put in a strange pocket that I didn't know about, like all the way down in the bottom. So he pulled this bowl out and he puts his pinky nail in there, and it comes out black, and he goes, resin. Possession of paraphernalia with intent to ingest. Luckily, I had a job at the time with legal assistance, so I had to drive back down to North Carolina twice from D.C. area, and paid my lawyer $300. He said it was going to be $300. Then he took my $300 and went in a room with the judge and the bailiff and came back out without my $300. And I was like, I could have just paid the cops $300
Yeah, no kidding.
the day of, and not had to drive 4 hours down here to Outer Banks 2 more times.
Could have done it like in Mexico.
Yeah.
You pay the fine right now to the cop.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I've been there, too.
Oh, yeah.
Can we just skip the whole fake shit? We had halfway through junior or high school, but both of my best friends, skateboarders, they moved out of town. My one buddy, we fancied ourselves to be like the DC Beastie Boys. Like we made beats and skateboarded, but we were in DC. And so one of them moved to Delaware, the other one went down to Blacksburg for college, and I was still a junior. And I got pulled out of high school because I was using high school as a networking group for raves. You know, we didn't have cell phones, so it took 6 periods of high school to talk to the right people to get the party going for the weekend. Who's going to drive? Who's going to lie to their parents? Whose parents are going to lie and say we're sleeping over there? Lights,
Right.
turntables, records, DJ, everything. This all happened in Baltimore. That's why I don't watch The Wire, because I already know Baltimore sucks. I don't need to watch a show about it. But I had some friends. I quit hanging out with my raver buddies. They moved away. So I just started being friends with these kids from youth group, and they were lacrosse players from the next high school over. But then they didn't have a hookup. So they were like, Josh, you don't know anybody? And I was like, I know somebody downtown behind the Capitol. And they were like, no, we don't go behind the Capitol, because all your parents tell you when you're little, don't go behind the Capitol. And I was like, it's good back there. That's where you get stuff. We have to go behind the Capitol. So we went to my friend's studio. I had made him a neon sign that said Fresh Beats Daily on the window that flashed smoke. And he referred us to his weed dealer, who was on 14th Street, downtown Southeast D.C. And he was on the phone with him. And he said, okay, I'll tell him. Okay. And then me and my 3 lacrosse buddies from Virginia went to go meet his weed dealer. But on the way out the door, the DJ, the guy at the studio, Boom, was like, Josh, stay in the car when you get there. So I took these guys to this townhome in a bad part of D.C. They go in. They're in there for a long time. They come out. They're very chatterboxy. They're very verbal. Got in the car. We're leaving, and they're all yelling in my ear the whole way home. And I find out that the dealer had the weed. They gave him the money. He put a pistol on the table and said, "Yeah, I want y'all to try some of this here crack first before you go."
Oh, no.
So they all 3 of them had to try crack before they were allowed to buy weed and leave. And I was dating the drill team.
He's like forcing you.
Yeah.
Because he knows you're going to get hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's a very training day situation. Yeah.
he knew
That's
me
pretty good.
through the
Yeah.
studio guy, through Boom, so he said, don't let Josh come in and get hooked on crack, because he's our friend. So let's keep him safe. So I got
Oh,
to stay in the
wow.
car and not get hooked on crack. So these guys knew where the house was. Without me, they started going back to getting in more and more trouble downtown. But there's a VHS tape of a lacrosse match of Herndon High School versus Reston High School in Virginia, and the score was 62-0 because they destroyed this other team because they were all on crack.
Damn.
And the announcer is on the microphone. I've never seen lacrosse played like this in my entire life. These guys are the most precise shots I've ever seen. I can't believe this is a record break. This is going in the Guinness World Book of World Records.
Wow. So crack is a performance-enhancing drug for lacrosse.
Yeah.
Who would have known?
And my girlfriend at
Does
the
it
time.
last for a whole lacrosse match? Are they
I
having
don't know. They're
to
probably
re-up
going in the
at
locker room.
halftime? Yeah.
But my girlfriend at the time was the leader of the drill team captain. And she was like, what did you do to those guys? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And it became slang from then on. Anybody in that high school that did something stupid, everybody's like, are you on crack?
Yeah.
But it was like, yeah, quite possibly.
You pooping?
Well, that was good.
Yeah.
Everybody had a good time on the show? Was it god awful enough for you?
It certainly was.
We didn't get any gospel. We keep saying we need to start talking about religion and the good book and all that on the podcast. But maybe we'll have a whole episode. Maybe we'll have a Bible study episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a bit we're working on about how nobody knows where the spirit or the soul is in the body, but also nobody knows where girls squirt from, if it's pee or not.
Yeah.
So girls might be squirting from their spirit.
It might be their spirit.
It's a transcendental experience. Or it's probably just pee.
Yeah. Yeah, one of our last guests said if you think it's pee, you've never made it happen.
Yeah.
Or you just have a dirty bitch pissing on you.
Yeah, you've made bad life
So, yeah.
decisions.
It doesn't taste like pee.
Yeah. That's kind of what he said.
Well,
Right.
Eric, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate
You
you.
bet.
Hopefully
Thanks
we'll
for
see
having
you
me.
again next time you're in town.
Yeah, you're
Sounds good.
at the mothership this week.
That's right.
Probably going to be back, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. So
Oh,
you're
yeah.
live. So everybody go to the mothership if you're in Austin tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go to the mothership in Austin.
Comedy Mothership, Austin, Texas. I'm on 2 shows tomorrow night. 7 o'clock, I'm on a fundraiser show for veterans with PTSD. I'll be on the lineup with Ron White, Tony Hinchcliffe, and Brian Simpson
Nice.
tonight.
That's great.
And then the late show, I think, starts at around 10. I'll be doing Bottom of the Barrel with Brian Simpson.
Cool. I hope you get some footage or some recordings out of that.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah, they don't allow it.
Okay.
So what are your socials? What's your at? Do they even have ats at TikTok? I guess they do, right?
Yeah, they do. It's
Yeah.
at Eric Knowles Comedy on TikTok.
Eric Knowles Comedy.
Eric
All right.
with a K.
Yeah.
And yeah, whatever. I think it's Eric Knowles Comedy on all the platforms. So whatever your favorite platform is.
Just Google.
You're
Yeah.
the only reason TikTok was worth a damn to me after putting work into it. I was like, oh, there's a real person on here.
Yeah.
The first time I.
Is that how we connected?
It wasn't
Was
from
through TikTok?
Rahaj Jajaj.
It was
that
through
like,
TikTok.
promote on Austin, Texas vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a robot comedian? Yeah.
I responded back to your message, and then you responded back, and I was like, whoa. It's like being on the
Oh yeah, it's when that my special came out. I kind of sent out a bunch of those messages to like, hey, help me promote this.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you were a
It
real
worked out.
person.
Well, yeah, me too.
All right, signing off.
All right.
All right, thanks,
Bye.
guys.